Let's visit now with Dudley Dawson from Hawgs Illustrated and WholeHogsSports.com on the hotline. Dudley, good afternoon.
Same to you two.
Dudley, I want to remove the word loaf from the English language. Do you have anything that could, you work in words. What can we use to replace loaf?
Tank.
Meat tank.
Meat tank. I like that. Sugar
tank
tank.
of bread.
Yes. Yeah. Well, no. Somebody said you just call it what it is. It's a bag of bread.
It's a bag of bread. Okay.
I'm good with that.
Oh, see, I thought you were talking about like out on a football field or at a job or something like that. It's a loaf.
No, like meatloaf. I don't like the word loaf.
He just doesn't like the word loaf
Yeah.
in any connotation.
Huh. Well, that's interesting. I am definitely not I'm definitely not a cook or chef. I'm definitely an eater, obviously. But meat. I love meatloaf. Or
What about
what is called meatloaf?
Meat log.
Yeah, I like loaf better than log there.
Okay.
I do too.
All right. I like meat tank.
Meat pile.
Yes.
Meat
pile of meat.
casserole.
We're looking at
Oh,
this
meat
wrong.
casserole.
What, meat casserole. What if you spun it around?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
But casserole implies it's going to be in an ugly dish.
Yeah.
It's like flowers on the
Yes,
side and stuff.
blue flowers. White dish, blue flowers. Corningware, I think, is what it is.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
All right.
Oven safe and all that stuff. All right, we've wasted enough time here already. Is Arkansas going to beat Missouri tomorrow night, Dudley?
Well, I think that Missouri had a great game the other night. I'm still not sold on them too much, but obviously not sold on Arkansas right now either. For the vast majority of Arkansas games at home over the last several years, they've been able to win them. I think they'll certainly have a chance to do that tomorrow. I do think they'll be playing with a lot of urgency. And if I was a betting man, which I'm not, but if I was a betting man, yeah, I'd probably take Arkansas in this one. But if they don't, then I see them 0-5, obviously.
Mm-hmm. That would be a negative. If you're going to troubleshoot this thing, and say these are the problems on the team. What is at the top of that list that they've got to fix starting tomorrow?
Number one is just mental and physical toughness. You and I discussed this a little bit. When somebody comes down the lane, it is open door policy right now. It can't be that way. You've got to rough up somebody coming down the lane, and you can say that's thuggish and whatever, but that's just part of the game. I mean, we saw physicality last night between Alabama and Georgia out on a football field. There needs to be some on the basketball court as well, and we've seen that over the years during the best teams here. I think we saw mental and physical toughness out of last year's team, but we have not seen that to this point. And obviously, the start of the second half, which have just been horrendous here lately, you have to do better there. You're just giving up 16-0 runs and all this. So first of all, I think mental and physical toughness, and then the second thing is I think they've got to improve both on individual and team defense.
Yeah. So, I mean, given what happened last year with they lost 4 out of 5, and then they figured a bunch of stuff out in late January and into February. I mean, I know every year is different, but, I mean, they've got the guy at the helm that can eventually figure this out, right? Assuming that he can get some sleep with his torn rotator cuff.
Yeah. I would assume, because I think he's a very good coach, as I was mentioning on the show yesterday, that I've heard some people call him for his head. I mean, that's ridiculous because he took him to the first Elite Eight in 26 years. He's got a great recruiting class coming in, and I'm sure he's going to add some more pieces to that as they go along. But, obviously it's not working right now, and I know him and his staff are doing everything they can, but the team is not responding with a complete 40 minutes now. They gave probably a decent, 28 to 30 on Saturday, probably gave you a decent 28 to 30 against Vanderbilt, but you just cannot do that in a league that is as competitive. Notice I didn't say great, but as competitive as the SEC.
We've got some breaking news that actually sort of falls into your wheelhouse. Joe Judge just got fired.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
He was one of the many coaches that my football team went 6-0 against in the division this year, and I suspect that all of those coaches should probably be on shaky footing.
Wow.
Even the guy who won the division, because I still have questions about Mr. McCartney there.
Yeah.
So walk me through this regarding the basketball team here. Is if this thing is going to get turned around, they're 0-3 in the league. The meat of their schedule is still, it starts, I guess, in a week and a half. If you're looking at the rest of this thing, how many wins are we looking at? Is it, at the beginning of the year, they were talking about anywhere from 8 to 10. That's probably come down a little bit. How many league wins gets them into the tournament?
I haven't really looked over the schedule too much, but I would think that they're probably going to win somewhere between 6 to 8 when all is said and done. I don't think that gets it done. I don't think that gets you into the tournament, although they do have a couple of wins there that are, will look better as the season goes along. But I think that, they're going to have a tough time right now in getting this thing turned around. 0-3 is historically not the start you have to get into the NCAA tournament. I do know they were 2-4 last year. But I think that anybody who's watched it with an objective viewpoint sees that right now it is not a matter of just flipping the switch. It's going to have to be effort, especially defensively again. And again, I think they've got to show that they care a little bit more about the on-court action, which, gets back into my toughness aspect of things. And another thing, when your guy gets knocked down on the floor, gets run over, you need to run over and pick him up. I haven't seen as much of that here lately, and so I think that's part of becoming and bonding as a team as well, and they've got to get that back going, because that was one of the big things that helped turn around last year's team. Is not only did they start playing well, but they started caring about each other more than I thought they did at the first of the season. And that's one of the questions you always have when you bring in so many new guys, especially from so many different places, as you do with the way the transfer portal is going right now in basketball.
And we're talking about Dudley Dawson here. Isn't it true that, like, when you bring in 7 or 8 newcomers, like, you don't have a lot of returning people to carry the mail, so you kind of have to get 5 or 6 players out of that group, and if you don't do that, you've got trouble. Yeah,
especially when you bring in that many, and especially when you have such few returners, including guys who, let's be honest, were more role guys who got more time as the year went along. But you have to hit on them. I think Tony has had, obviously Tony has had had a good start. He's had some good games. I think we see good things out of JT Notai again most of the time. But I think that Devo, who I think is getting a little bit too much criticism, certainly is having to play a much different role now, and he's not functioning or flourishing in that role to the point that he was last year. He was a hustle guy, a guy who got you points that that were easy baskets, and I don't think he's doing that this year, and part of that is because he's being focused on a little bit more.
Just from listening to you and hearing what you've been saying and other folks have been saying, this feels like this is on this group of guys. This is not on the coaches necessarily, because the structure's in place. This is on this team to pull this bunch out of its tailspin.
Well, I'll agree with you to some aspect. It's always going to be on the coach. That's the end-all, be-all. The coaches get credit.
But he can't coach effort. He can't coach defense. Defense is effort.
That's true, but what I'm saying is that you brought these guys in. You have to have some you have to have some credit or blame or whatever. Now, I do agree with you that the guys out on the court are going to have to play harder. They're going to have to play tougher. But what I'm saying is you can't be absolved of any blame, just as you can't take all the credit for last year. You have to give a lot of credit last year to Justin Smith, Jalen Tate, Moses Moody, and those guys as well. It's a mixed bag, a combination there. So I don't want to say that he gets no blame, but certainly you have to hit on these guys. And so far, you're pretty much half and half. It looks like, and I've been surprised really about a guy like Trey Wade, who I thought would be really good here.
Yeah, that's been curious to see why that hasn't worked out there for whatever reason.
What is?
Now, I know they started the year with injuries, but we're at the point now that everybody should be healthy enough to get after it.
What is to make me believe for the 26th straight year that the Cowboys don't choke in the first round of the playoffs?
I don't really have anything to give you to
Come
tell
on.
you that they won't. Let me finish. If they won't choke, I mean, certainly that has been the product of their recent history. San Francisco's coming in, having won 7 of their last 9 games. Their defense has improved. Jimmy Garoppolo has handed the ball off a lot and made better decisions during this stretch. I mean, y'all should go down there and probably beat us by 30. I mean, all the pressure should be on y'all because y'all are a team that's a force from what I hear.
The 49ers.
Oh, listen to him talk. Okay, all right. I'm just
the team of Zach's youth.
I'm just
49ers.
Yes, that was the Joe Montana.
I think I read one of the NFL beat writers say they were the hottest team in the playoffs. So that's wow.
Well,
I mean,
let's not even play that.
My little Cowboy team. I just don't know what we can do.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be upset.
Now they are
Monday.
they are 3-0 in opening wild card games, in games in that stadium. But you look at the big picture here. So
how many games? How many games have they played in that stadium? I mean, is it? Have they lost?
They're 3-0 in wild card games.
But I think one of those was
weekend
against the
here.
Lions, wasn't it?
No, the Lions haven't been in the playoffs in
No. Hang on. I think one of them was against the Lions, and that doesn't count.
Yeah, 2014.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
What?
Yeah, the Lions were in the playoffs.
The Lions made the playoffs?
Yes.
I'll be darned. I didn't know that.
It used to be the NFC East didn't used to be what it was. The NFC Central used to be
Yeah.
the NFC East.
Yeah.
What the
Hey.
NFC East is now.
What if Harbaugh goes to the Giants? That is one of the possibilities, apparently, according to the internet.
But come on, he's smarter than that. If you're going to leave Michigan, especially after what he got done this year and kind of, got some of the haters off his back, you're not going to go there. You're going to go somewhere where you have a chance. He's not going to pull an Urban and do the Jacksonville route, which, Jacksonville got a lot better after he left, I thought.
Hey,
Addition by subtraction.
Who would you rather face in the second round of the playoffs, Brady or Rodgers?
Oh.
Well, I would say that it is more likely for Mr. Rogers to get COVID and miss the game than I would Brady. But no, I mean either one. I think those were the two teams, obviously, that should be looked upon as the favorites to advance. So I don't want to play either one of them. But if you're going to play one, I would guess because Dallas played Tampa Bay so well at the start of the year, I would say it would be that team because Mr. Rogers has owned us over the years.
He did. Yeah. I mean, he Chicago Bears you most of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite as bad, but yes, it's been.
Yeah,
What
sort of like
now,
we did. Sort of like we did to you most of the time in the '90s, except for the catch.
wow. Well, that was in the '80s, but we'll always have '94.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
one.
'94 was great.
Chargers Super Bowl.
Yeah.
When is the last time y'all won an NFL championship? By the way, I can't remember.
1 year before the
I know
Cowboys, but we've been there.
Yeah, okay, that's what
We've been there a couple times.
Yeah.
Wins and losses all that matters.
Oh
Right?
yeah. I mean, I understand. We didn't have to suffer through the Quincy Carter era.
That's true. But you right now are suffering through the what was it? I'm getting old. Lost my train of thought. It was a really good burn, but it just went out.
Oh man. Text it to him later. When
Yeah,
you
just
think
text
of
it to
it,
me
all
when you remember.
Yeah, will do. Might be next Tuesday, but
That's okay. We'll be here. Thank you, Dudley, for everything. We appreciate it.
you bet. Thanks for the stress release, as y'all called it last year.
That's right.